This is a quick tutorial on Google Earth on how to create a placemark. So the first thing that we need to do is have Google Earth open, which I already have it open here, and then we need to find the location that we want to add a placemark. And we can do that by just zooming in on Google Earth, or we can also use the search function here as well. Once we find our general location, we want to get very specific on where we want to place our placemark, and so I'm going to put my placemark right here. Once I find that, I click the Add Pin button, and it gives me a pin. I can move it around just by clicking on it and dragging it around. I can also change my pin, how it looks, by selecting again, this button right here will let me change how my pin looks. So again, I want to be very careful and get it exactly where I want it, and then I can change the name. This happens to be where I bought souvenirs in Australia, or bought some other stuff in Australia. I'm going to put that as the title, and it will change it on there, and then I can complete the description. And I can add information there in my description. You might want to include a picture in your placemark, so I'm going to show you how to do that. We need to do some HTML text, so you can just copy what we have here. We want to put a break and then insert an image, which IMG stands for a space, and then we need to tell it its source, which is what SRC stands for, and then we need the image URL. I'm going to show you real quick how to get an image URL. I'm going to go to our web browser, and we're going to find our image. So I'm just going to search for Darling Harbour in New South Wales, and I want some images of that. And once I find the image that I want, this is actually a picture of the hotel that I stayed in Australia, so we'll just go ahead and do that one. If I do a Google image search, I come here, the URL is very, very long. So if I click on this full-size image, it now becomes much shorter. I can go ahead and copy that, come back to Google Earth, and I want to paste it right here. Okay, if it needs to end in .jpeg. If it doesn't, you'll need to find a different image. Once I've got .jpeg, I can close that off and add a break. Okay, we may also want to show where our source came from. So again, this is HTML text, HTML code, and this is what we can do to do that. So we want to open bracket a href for hyperlink reference equals, and I can paste the same URL there, close that off, and then this is the text that will show up. So I'm going to put image source, but you can put any text that you wanted there to have it hyperlink to. You want /a, okay. Alright, so that's the text that we want. To add a hyperlink, this will add our image, this will add our hyperlink. We can change our style and color if we want. I'm going to change our view though real quick. I can change the tilt. So let's say I go to 35, and that'll change the slant on my Google Earth. I can make it greater if I want. Kind of like the other one a little better. Okay, so we can adjust it in any way that we want. And I can also change the altitude. I can have it clamped to ground. And let's actually do relative to ground, and I can make it lift up off of the ground, the picture, so I can do things like I'm talking about the atmosphere or the top of a building. I can also extend to ground, which will give me a little white line. It's kind of hard to see there. Let's see if we can move this around. Okay, so we can see this white line that attaches it to the ground. I have no reason to lift it up off the ground, so I'm going to just put it back When I'm done, I can click OK, and I will have all of those things that I put there now there. And I also have an image source that I can click and it'll take me to where I got my picture from. Okay. One other thing that you need to do to make sure that you save is if we're done with our bookmark, we want to save it. Right here I have where I bought stuff in Australia. I can right click on it and save place as, and then save it somewhere on my computer so I have access to it. Okay, I'm not ready to do that yet, but that's what I would do. Once I have all of my place marks made, I can create a tour of them if I want, and that's this button right here with the video camera. So recording a tour. Okay, so I can turn on my microphone if I'd like and then record. So what I would do is turn on my microphone and it's going to start recording my voice, and then as I push record, it will record each location that I go to. So again, click on Google Tour. I can start recording, and then I can, whatever I do, zooming in or whatever, going to each place mark, it will show up. Okay, if I want to record my voice, I can record it afterwards over the top, or I can do them both at the same time. Okay, so when I'm finished with my tour, I just unclick record and now it shows up here and will provide me with my tour. Again, it's doing the same thing that I did before. And I want to save this, so I can title it something and then click OK, and it'll save it tour. Again, it'll show up over here. So let's go ahead and save that. I could put a description in there, but now I have practice tour right here. And again, I want to save place as when I'm finished, and I'll have my tour that I can then save somewhere. Alright, so that's the basics on how to do a place marks and Google tour on Google Earth. And if you have any questions, just ask.